Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and we are here to bring you that boom bap breakfast right here on Black Liberation Media. Now, let me introduce you to the host of most, straight from the East Coast, DC. Can you feel me? We got no other than Dr. Jerry Ball.
Yeah, I like that energy.
Yeah, let's get it.
What's up, Ear Doctor? What's up, Remixers? What's up, world?
What's up?
Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, the best morning show on the planet. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, support the Patreon. All the links are in the show description.
Yeah.
New content on its way. Yeah.
Hey, I got a quick question. So what is Pluto now?
Man, you asking the wrong one, man. I think it got reclassified as a different. I think it did get reclassified, but I really don't know. And again, I spend a lot of time in the context of these atheist debates channels, and I just ran into, shout out to Don Hammonds, one of the Remix extended community crew. I ran into him in a chat last night of one of these former pastors turned atheists presentation. But anyway, the point is in these debates, they get into all kinds of stuff about science, abiogenesis, the age of the universe, evolution, and all it. And I just sit there fascinated because it's just a constant reminder of how little and I think many of us actually know. And and some of it is still shifting. Science is still sciencing and trying to figure stuff out. So
I think I know what happened.
You think you know what happened?
I think they're turning it into the Death Star. Just like in Star Wars. They're like, all right, it's no longer considered a planet. Now we're gonna build on it. We're gonna build on it and get something going and popping, and it'll be that last planet in the solar system that can fight against all the other invaders.
I just don't think. I just don't think.
Yo, how do you just not make a planet a planet no more?
Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat. Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's not a planet because of the size, says Alex. And then Ricky, who knows all things, everything, it's a dwarf planet.
Wow.
My
can
son
we call
can
it a
tell
little
you all
person
about
planet?
it. Whenever he's ready to come on, let's do that. Let's get some education from the youth.
Can we call it a little person planet, not a dwarf planet? Let's be sensible now.
Oh man. But I think to your point, and again, this is an issue that comes up in these debates all the time because people keep saying, well, if science can ever be proven wrong, it must all be thrown out. And what the scientists keep saying is that's of course ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because what is usually proving science wrong is more science. The point being, you keep testing and retesting, and people keep learning and building on previous knowledge and expanding our knowledge. So it's not that we can't know these answers. We just don't know yet. And in terms of, although not this question, I'm sure there are people who can answer this particular question about Pluto better than I am. But the point still is science is still sciencing. And that, I will say, has become the biggest frustration with me and my mortality. Is that I'm just not going to live long enough to know. I mean, I think, I don't know if humanity's going to make it to figure out some of these questions. We might all be out of here, but I am fascinated by this question because again, and it just came up again, literally this morning for me.
Wow.
If the Big Bang is misnamed by a Christian hater of the science who wanted to diminish the concept. And what they're really talking about is the beginning of what we consider space-time, not all space-time.
Hmm.
What is before, and is there a before? Because they keep raising the question, because in the Big Bang didn't start everything, it started our space-time.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, for some at least, that there is never been a beginning.
I feel like sport. Well, see, that's a Phil. Let me go with Phil. So I feel like the Earth was around, right? And we're like spores that came out of the Earth. All humanity and animals and everything is like just came from the Earth. And maybe like our spirits is like, I don't know. Like what we consider to be our spirit is like the center core of the Earth. It's like an energy ball or something like that. I mean, you can make this shit up just like a scientist, really.
But that
if you sound a certain
that's
way,
exactly. But
see?
no. But that's exactly what faith-based arguments and people who believe in religions, various religions. That's often what they say. And what the scientists' response is that no, science is not making anything up. Science is testing and verifying and checking and rechecking. So it's all, yes, there are theoretical, what we would consider theoretical aspects of science. What the word theory means in science is something entirely different. The word theory in science actually means something that is basically a fact, except that they just always acknowledge that there's always room for some sort of more. So
but it's one variable. Go ahead, my bad. It's one
so
variable.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's one variable we didn't consider. Scientific donors.
Meaning what?
Let me pay this scientist this amount of money, and then I'll get the result I want.
But
like,
but
you know what I'm saying? Because like you think about the olden times, if they discover something and the king was like, nah, we can't let that get out. Those are the ones that be like, yo, this is what the science is now.
But science doesn't work that way, and this is what is becoming increasingly frustrating for my novice self.
You don't think
science doesn't? No, because you would have to. Because when someone publishes data, the rest of the scientific community challenges it. If it gets published, it has itself been challenged. So it would require. So for instance, I watched this guy debunk the funk, and he does a lot of. He's this molecular biologist PhD who does all this. He debunks all the vaccine conspiracy stuff and all this kind of stuff. And one of his major points that he brings up is every time people say, make a point that you've made, he points out that, yeah, but those same studies have been duplicated all over the world by other groups of people to prove that, because that's how you demonstrate the accuracy. If you can take someone's claims and then duplicate it elsewhere, that's considered a strong support. So it would require literally paying off everyone in the scientific community, and then everyone who peer reviews that. To say that's impossible, okay, I won't go that far. But to say it's likely and that it makes sense, I can't do that either. Because I have to revert to what they say in these debates, because if we don't have any observable, demonstrable, baseline agreeable facts upon which we can build our world and our civilization and our society, then we really are lost. So this idea that you have people out here attempting to debunk all of science with non-scientific methods, I just think is a major threat. And one of the main reasons why we might not make it to see the answers.
Perhaps we're lost in space. Speaking of out of this world, what's up with your man in the background, Prince? I see him.
Hold up, wait. Ruben, I meant Dr. Jerabal, as an atheist, is and a lot. Okay, that's an unclear sentence, and it's making an
God,
inaccurate statement.
that's worse than
So
something I would write.
Ruben, before I block you, submit one thing that you can make a claim about me lying about. Obviously, I've made mistakes and can be wrong, but what have I lied about? And please post it here with all of your evidence, links included, if possible,
Well,
so
I'll
that
tell
we
you-
can vet it.
I'll tell you who don't be lying around. Kim Brown.
Yo,
What's
What
up?
up? What up?
good morning, folks. Good morning. What we talking about? Who said it in the chat? Is this Black Liberation Media or is this the Nova channel? What we doing? Is this Nova Science Special?
It's almost Halloween. We acting like Degrassi and all them. Did I say his name right?
Yeah, the grass, whatever.
Degrassi.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
Not nothing about you, ear doctor, but Neil deGrasse Tyson. There's a dirtball report out on him. We won't confirm nor deny.
Gosh. Who?
oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, man.
but he shook
Okay,
it
but
off.
for the sake,
Oh,
just
yeah,
real
who
quick,
you
for the
blocking?
sake
Who
of
you
this
blocking?
conversation, does it mean his science is wrong? That's
Yeah.
What science is in dispute here? Whether or not Pluto is a planet?
He started. Ear doctor started with that question, and then
Yeah.
it quickly became all science is
Oh.
bought and paid for.
I ain't say all.
I know,
I
I'm
just
just
I just said certain things that benefit the empire
Yeah,
could be paid for by, they pay the scientists to be like, nah, we're not letting that evidence out. Just like,
most
religion.
definitely.
Just like
Oh,
religion.
so but there's kind of something to that because there's a lot of debunked criminal forensic science that is now considered like junk science, like ear prints, or I can't remember what is something that's been debunked that they used to actually put people in jail for, and now they don't use it as evidence anymore because it turned out to be
White
nonsense.
people's claims, no, but they still do that. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Because that's science. No, but my point, Kim, was that yes, science does make mistakes, but the point that I was trying to make is that it's science that corrects those mistakes because science continues to evolve and challenge and correct itself and come up with new solutions. So it's not non-scientific methods or unscience that's condemning science. It's science evolving science. I'm just throwing up a little bit of a defense for for science. That's
Science.
it. That's it.
The whole.
And then we was about to
yeah.
get to Prince being in his background before he was ready to block
Yo.
somebody.
Shout out to the God, Prince Rogers Nelson.
Well,
Yeah.
so in similar to what we've been talking about, I'm going to do a live today at 11 o'clock
Oh.
about this new
Whoa,
article.
Whoa.
What happened? What
You
happened?
didn't know we do our 11 o'clock?
Classic
Oh.
Breakdown is Thursdays at 11.
So I'll be on my channel. I can't help that. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'll
Look at how they make
this
you
is
choose
our-
out here. Remixes.
We've been
Look
doing
at how
this
they
for a
make.
month.
don't
every
choose.
Thursday at
Don't
11.
choose. You know,
Look
so
at how they,
well,
look at the competitive
technically,
programming. Look at the
No.
counter programming. It's competitive out here, y'all.
Let's go. We're gonna take
it's
you
really
down,
not
boy.
You know
We
what?
got- we ain't worried
no.
about
I'm gonna. I'll reschedule. I'll reschedule
Nah,
it while we're on the day. No.
No, you ain't got
It was.
we want
no.
the-
I don't want to. Nope.
We want
I'm
the smoke.
nope.
Head
We
to
want the
head.
smoke,
So,
Jared.
we
We
want
want the smoke.
It's not.
'Cause we got
I don't.
we got different. We got different. We doing the Jackson
So,
5
but
today.
what Ear Doctor did is a little bit shady. I will say that because this will be the second time this morning that I said I was doing that, including once before we went on air, and you waited till Kim
You
got here.
You didn't tell
to
me what
check on
time.
that.
No, you
I
didn't tell me
did.
what time.
No, I literally did, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, well, I
that's
didn't hear you, my
okay.
bad.
I know it's all right. You got
Hey.
me. I'm going to reschedule, and folks can just stay tuned, or I'll just pre-record it and come back. So we
Now
don't. I don't want to do that.
Like I don't want.
No,
now I
no,
feel like-
No.
your whole
I'm good.
plan.
It's not. It's really not that. First of all, let me just step back and take a breath. None of it is that deep. None of this is that deep.
Fact.
So it's Jared talking shit on the camera. I can reschedule that. It's not terribly deep. So you're right. I'm good. Fixed.
But
This is
tell
a
us
now.
what is the program about? What,
Yeah.
The
once it
program
airs.
is about all I really want to do is talk about this new article that came out in the New Yorker about the Julian Edelman documentary about Prince, the 9-hour Netflix documentary about Prince
Damn.
that we're probably never going to see
Oh, that's fucked
because
up.
these motherfuckers are out here being shady and being I think money grubbing. And in the worst and worse than that, this is good. This will be for me to twist. Worse than that for me is that it's putting me in a position where I feel like I need to side with Netflix. And that is the biggest contradiction maybe I've ever suffered in my life. Because Netflix had a deal with Julian Edelman. They signed a deal with the estate that was in charge at the time
Mhm.
to get full access and final cut. And then a bunch of stuff has gone on over several years, and we're at the point where we're probably at the time of publication a couple weeks ago, we're probably never going to see this thing.
That's terrible. I gotta
And
say,
when
I visited Paisley Park in 2019, it was the whites was in charge, right? And it made me uncomfortable. Like, I didn't like being greeted by a white person. Welcome to Paisley Park. The white person take my money. The white person take me on the tour. And I'm like, I don't know about this. So the whites are in charge of his estate is my perception. Now,
it's
whether
a
or not that's
little
actually
bit
true.
so they were, then they weren't, then there was more family involved, then there's this brother that's a black man that's involved on some level. It's just not entirely clear who has what influence to stop what. And yeah, it's and the other thing, and yes, Edelman, who did this, is shout out to the Black Jews, did this he did OJ Made in America.
Oh,
So which is, I think, again,
Very
one of the
good.
best. It's incredible.
Yeah,
And when you read, I mean, because this article is so well written and it is so revealing of what is at least the potential for this documentary, and to give us access to this goat of goats, that unfortunately is not without some controversy. Like, it's like I will say this in the article, it says Questlove, who got to see the cut of the video, of course, because he's the all present Black pop cultural spokesperson. But he said he got to see the whole thing, and he said he went home, called his therapist, and was crying.
Oh, damn.
Like I forgot the exact language because it was so well written. I'm not doing it service, but yeah, it broke him.
Okay.
So, and there's a lot, even in the article, it's a lot. I mean, it's so yeah. That's why and then, okay, Ruben, now Ruben's about to get, you called me a liar and you didn't
Now
put
you
any
saying
proof
Prince
up.
was
And
a
now you've
junkie?
become Prince is a junkie. I'm afraid, Ruben, you're gonna have to go. I'm afraid.
not even put Ruben in timeout. You're not gonna let Ruben think about
Well,
his
I gave
behavior
him a
and
chance
come
to think
back.
about it when I said post the evidence that claim that you have, that you say I'm a liar. Because I mean, I really do. I don't like liar. Don't call me liar. You called me. What did you call? You said some other shit about me. That's fine. But if I'm a liar, you're gonna have to.
Called you a habitual line stepper, man. What's up?
You're gonna have to. No, he
in
said
there.
liar.
Does
Ruben
Ruben
said
got his
liar.
government? Does Ruben have his government up there? Does he even have a photo
know.
up there? Why we
I
give a
don't know.
fuck what Ruben got to say? You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Gutierrez.
curious.
Because all right, now he said he died a junkie. All right, you got to go. Ruben got to go.
Stage left
Ruben's
even.
getting in timeout. We putting Ruben in timeout.
Put him in timeout. Let him think about his actions.
I'm gonna let him think about it, because you can't talk about, because even I mean, yes, they do talk about what was apparently a very long struggle with addiction.
How could it not?
But
be?
around here, and that's the point. That's exactly it, Kim. How could he not? That they put it in the context of someone who was doing incredibly highly acrobatic show performances
Shit.
almost every motherfucking day for like decades.
In heels.
So, in heels.
Mhm.
Okay, in heels. Sorry.
So
I think he's mysterious. Like, you really want to see this because he's like mysterious, like on the Sade level. Like, you don't really know their life because they're so behind the scenes. So I definitely would love to see that.
But with all due respect to Sade, I mean, he is his, and then, I mean, he's incomparable talent wise. So and so prolific that yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Sade's releasing a new song, says Ricky. That's good news
About
for everybody
time.
but Kamau.
It's about you. Let's see, we about on year 12, 15 since her last release. Yep, this she right on time, right on schedule.
She and D'Angelo, they on these multiple, 10, 15 year cycles. It's starting to, it's a little bit frustrating. Because some of these TikTokers.
See this new music. Hope we live long enough.
I was surprised
Yeah.
Styx from Dead Prez did that last produced one of her songs on her last album, that King of
Oh, really?
Soldier.
I shouldn't be surprised. He's
I'm a
very
soldier
talented.
of love.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, damn.
I didn't
Okay.
know that.
Yeah.
Stick is in a way a little bit.
I seen him yesterday at the
Oh, yeah.
Whole Food, not the Whole Food, but the 7 Under vegetarian type grocery store.
Did you speak? You say what's up?
He was on the phone. He was walking out. I was on my computer, so no. But I seen him the week before at the festival, so we good.
Nah, man. Did you speak to him then? Did you tell him to come on Black Liberation Media?
They was getting on stage about to perform.
See?
We didn't really get there.
See how we do.
I be working,
You do be working. This nigga do
I'll be working.
You do be
Speaking of-
working though.
Speaking of, yeah. So that's what it is. It's 8:22, y'all.
Was we trying to wait for Camus, or what Camus just say in the joint?
I wanted. Oh, did he just send us something? I wanted to wait for Kamau because I had something that I have something from his favorite white man.
Oh damn, he's on the way, but there's literally a dead body on the road causing the traffic jam.
Damn.
Welcome to Atlanta, y'all. Y'all wonder why the traffic is crazy? Because niggas is crazy. Wow. Yeah.
So just real quick, how long is the breakdown you all are doing at 11
Only
o'clock?
if you could come on at 12, that would be so great because you got Michael Jackson, then you got Prince. I mean, I want to see the show, so it's like, yeah.
So then it's done. That's it. That's what I'll do. The
go.
only reason I hadn't
Teamwork
never
make a
mind.
dream
It
work.
don't matter. Yeah.
What's
that's
wrong,
it.
JB?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know what's really wrong though? I'll tell you what's really wrong. We did no. It has nothing to do with you two. This is something else. This is real life wrong.
Okay.
So the so this would have been Tuesday night, right? That we were attempting to have Jill Stein on. And I was saying I was gonna be late because I was at my daughter's game.
Yep.
Baby girl blew her ACL again.
No.
Damn.
Oh, wait,
So-
this is the same daughter with the same injury?
Same daughter, same knee, 2 years out.
Marley.
So she baby girl Marley had rehabbed, got herself back, got herself on varsity,
Yeah, I know.
got herself up the depth chart, got herself even on the club team, the pre-academy club team, which was another step up. And they were getting, I mean, it was a bad game. It was in the rain. They were getting beaten badly, and she's just making a hustle play. And then she went down, and you could hear it.
Oh.
You could hear it, and the yell, the sound is terrible. Ran out there, all of that, and I didn't know I could move that fast though. If there's any good news left, if there's any good news, if there's a rainbow, I still got something. Because I was in the top of the stands, and I was by the corner of the field in seconds. I was like with a level of fluidity I was almost surprised by. But
So
yeah, man, it's gonna be
How do you, as a father, work? How do you cheer her up? I mean, like, what did?
Well, I have another question. Hold on.
Okay.
Like, I mean, what do we do here as parents? Like me, like I'm a parent, but like as parents, when your child suffers big injuries, right? Playing sports. And do you think about, how this injury is going to affect her as an adult, right? Is she going to have trouble with her knee? So do you guys go through the whole process
that part
again?
Yeah, so that part is the easy part, because with today's technology and surgery skills, to be a regular person, she's going to be fine. Like this
That's
only has an issue. This is only an issue for people who wanted to have an athletic career.
Mm.
So now the other good news is, and the doctor kind of confirmed this last night, was that again, the surgery technology has improved. So once upon a time, this would have been the first one would have ruined her whatever career, and definitely a second one. Now she got to repair the first time. She's going to get a full reconstruction this time, and we'll be back in 9 months, ready for her senior year, which we committed this morning on our way to school was going to be epic. So the way I've been doing it is just to say to her, you know, you have every right to be frustrated and upset. You have every right to, you know, take some time to be like, you know, fuck the world. I didn't say it that way, but the reality is, I just said, you know, you can come back from this. And I started going down. I mean, unfortunately, there's a long list of professional athletes you can point to and be like, look, they're still playing. They're having a great career. You know, but internally and with both of us, it's both parents, there's a lot of guilt. You just feel guilty.
I was just thinking,
And,
like,
you know.
the dope thing about you and your wife is y'all don't, like, one of you are atheist and then the other one isn't. So like one can get in their ear and be like, God don't make no mistakes. You know, like saying like things happen for their reason. Yeah. So
Yeah, you got to do that. I can't be around for that one.
but
no, I'm just playing. No, I just.
Like,
You know,
I mean, because to me, I don't know, we're not gonna go down a religious hole, but to me, when it comes to religion, it's a psychological thing that helps certain people. Some people need religion.
But while we talking science, my good brothers, you guys know that there has been studies about people who have knowingly or even unknowingly received prayer, who have been in hospital or have had serious injury or been in a coma, and there's data to back up that people who have knowingly or whatever received prayers that it's been, you know, documented, etc., that they do heal quicker.
See, if I was, you know, see, I always look at both sides, atheist or not. I would look at that as vibrations. Like a whole bunch of vibrations are vibrating on this whole level of trying to be like, get better. And since our body moves on vibrations when it comes to music, when it comes to feelings, when it comes to all that stuff, I think all them vibrations help to vibrate you to a higher level.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah, I totally agree.
Because that's what prayer is really.
Whatever works. I'm not putting I'm down for whatever. So folks want to send prayers, do whatever you got to do.
Well, let's do that. Let's ask the collective. I mean, pray, do what you do, but let's send some good healing vibrations towards young Marley and her knee and her progress for recovery. So,
I do have to say she is a remarkable I mean, her like she's already ebullient this morning. Like I dropped her off at school. She was
whoa. We got come on. Hold on. Rewind. What is that word?
Ebullient. She
damn. I gotta look that up. Y'all be fucking me up with some of these words, yo. I ain't gonna front.
Oh my God. Now I gotta look it up.
I like the word though, ebullient.
Yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word. I like that word too. But she cheerful and full of energy. Ebullient. And she but that's her, man. She like I'd have been off just F everything. But she is already like got her mind right. You know, we were talking about, I said, you know, you did it before, you can make this comeback. We got your back. We're gonna be with you. And then on the way in, I said, damn. I said, I got to start saving now because I promised them cleats. I promised you when you recovered last time, I'm gonna have to, you know, when you recover off of this one, and I have to get the most latest. I was like, I got to start saving now because you about to get the flyest, you know, so she's excited off all of them shits, whatever it is.
Speaking of decent fathers, come out, K. Frank.
Hey.
Aw, thank
Yeah,
you.
Even
Wow,
though
that
even
was-
though even though you allow
Oh, now
Geechee
you-
inside your house before me,
And
didn't
around your
show up.
children.
I
You were
know.
supposed to show up though. You didn't show up.
Did I get an
Oh.
invite, address, or anything? No.
I did.
It's all,
I-
no, no,
Wait
you
a minute, I
didn't.
thought
didn't.
you were supposed to make it to the big house, ear doctor.
Yeah, I got
I
no
sent
invite.
them.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
I didn't send any of it.
You hear how he said I sent it?
So
I
you've
didn't
never
send
been
any.
to the
Yo,
house,
that's
too?
some
You
bull.
haven't
That's
been to
that
the
New York bullshit right
Wow.
there.
I can't remember these things. I thought I
That's that
sent
Brooklyn
Wow,
shit.
it's grimy.
That's that
I thought
Brooklyn
I sent
shit.
it.
I thought
I
I
sent
sent it.
it.
I'm gonna check.
No,
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 you
they
gonna
don't
come
need
over
to
for
check.
dinner. You gonna come over for dinner?
Look at
But he
the
wants you to cook dinner. He wants you to come over there in service of his family, doctor. Don't go for
That's
that.
some
You be a
shit.
guest. You a
This nigga
guest.
sitting all
gonna
on the
show-
couch, feet up in the air.
It's gonna be like coming to
Whose
America.
feet
He's
was
gonna
in
hand
there?
you
He
a
was
vest.
there on business. He was there on business.
Oh, that's the only way people get to y'all. I get it.
There's some
He's gonna hand you a vest and put you behind the bar.
He probably ain't even beat him for
Exactly.
doing that commercial. He gave him a CMB shirt and was like, "Thanks, get the fuck out of here."
You go now. Word. It's getting late.
That's how you do it. Right? Oh
Mm,
man, what you
mm.
doing tomorrow?
Yawning and shit. Oh.
What you got
Places
planned
to
later?
go. Well, I don't want to hold you up, so you know.
Damn.
Ooh,
Ouch.
y'all.
I just had to get that
How you
off.
feel? You all right, Kamal? You had a little experience, a tiny bit of trauma this morning.
Wasn't trauma for me. I was alive, so I just had to make sure the kids didn't. So I'm sorry. So on my drive to school, it's like a major two-way intersection in Atlanta called Memorial Drive. Apparently somebody got hit and they were a goner. Yeah. So they recovered, the sheet and all that. Luckily, the kids, were had their heads down at the time. So but it took a while or whatever. So. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing the mood down.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem.
Damn.
I did have the bad New York attitude of like, can they just move this over just a little bit?
Wow.
You ain't-
I did.
He
I
wanted
did.
to honk his
I stopped myself. I don't think I should tell y'all that, but I did. Yeah.
It's all
Just
good.
to look like it was just like one lane. It was like one lane.
Oh shit. I love it. All right. So I guess it's
So-
break time. Well, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, we'll take a break. Take a break. Let's take a
Yeah,
break.
yeah. Let's do a quick break and then we'll come back with some more of stories from the host of Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Ooh.
Remix.
Could it be I'm falling in love with you? All right. Big up, y'all. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all feeling good. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. And you're going to see a bunch of stuff that you don't see over here. And also, hit the mic. Also, what you could do is go to our website, blkliberationmedia.org. Donate. We are demonetized, so that is how we're able to monetize. With that said, let me keep it going. All right, so let me take you into the halls of music and do a nice little spotlight on, what would we say, one of the greatest producers in music. Let's talk about Berry Gordy. All right, Berry Gordy the Third, or also known as Berry Gordy Jr. He's a record executive, record producer, songwriter, film producer. Y'all know him from holding Motown up and down. You know what I'm saying? He actually was one of the highest earning African American businesses for decades. He got on by writing songs for Jackie Wilson, Lonely Teardrops, That's Why, and Miracles, Shop Around, and Do You Love Me? By the Contours. So many different people he wrote for and worked for. Even we talking about putting out the Jackson 5, which you should check out, quick plug, at 11 o'clock here on Black Liberation Media. And he also wrote I Want You Back and ABC, in case y'all didn't know. Dude has been doing it for a while. He's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988, awarded the National Medal of Arts in 2016, and the Kennedy Center Honors in 2021, and inducted into the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame. So he's straight from Detroit. he wound up going down to Georgia, getting into the military, getting out, and then that's when he was like, okay. Him and his siblings started doing writing music and stuff for different people. One of his first things he did was a song called Reti Petit. And that was something that blew up in the UK. And when he got back and it was like, all right, well, let me do it here. He started off with Tamla Records. And then after he started working with Smokey Robinson and all them, then he merged with Motown, and then they came out with the Motown label, and all types of stuff started dropping. He did that for a while, blew the scene up with so many different people, then went out to LA and started getting on the whole movie tip. So you talking about great movies and stuff he did? Let me tell you about them real quick. You got Lady Sings the Blues, produced that. Mahogany, The Bingo Long, Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings, and yes, The Last Dragon. He also did that. Also did Broadway too, rock and roll, Lennon, Motown the musical. But yo, I just gotta say big up to that brother for making the culture what it is with the musicians he helped put out. All right, with that said, let's get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do. All right. Yeah.
Great movies.
Last Dragon?
Yeah,
Mahogany?
what does that mean? Last Dragon. What is that supposed to mean? You said Last Dragon, like that meant it was
That
a great
is
movie.
a cultural phenomenon
It's a
to this
classic.
day.
It's a classic for what
Okay.
it was, but it wasn't like a great movie.
Leroy.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah. What is that? Like Oscar-winning material? Or something
Yes.
Like oh my god.
Daddy
I did
Greens
love
with the
Mahogany,
pizza shop? Come on, man.
Was
He
Mahogany the one
inspired
with
me
Billy
to
Dean?
have a pizza shop. Go ahead.
Oh, but you selling drugs? That's different. Was Mahogany the one where he did the handshake? You gonna shake my hand?
You just gonna
Billy
let my
D. That was
hands
Lady
fall
Sings
off.
the Blues.
That's Lady Singers. But that was also Barry Gordy, right? That was also Motown
I
production.
think so. Yeah.
Mm. Listen, man.
Do you know where you're going
Going
to?
to.
Do you like the things that life is showing you?
Did you know he wrote ABC and the
No,
other
I
three?
did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced he
didn't
did
know
write
that.
it. I thought a lot of those Jackson 5 hits was Holland Doja Holland. I thought ABC and I Want You Back was amongst those.
Were they name on it?
Did he?
Holland Doja Holland, yeah.
Was their name on that song though?
That's a good question. Ear
Apparently
Doctor
not.
says no. Ear Doctor says Barry Gordy wrote the shit by himself.
Did he?
I-
Did he?
I
I
did.
never
I
knew
didn't
that.
say by itself. I
Does
said
it say he
it.
wrote it, or does he say
Officially.
he owns it?
He wrote it.
Officially.
Yeah.
Definitely owns it.
Okay,
He definitely owns it.
so that's what I'm saying. That's the distinction I was looking for, though,
Mhm.
because if he owns it, doesn't mean he wrote it. And I thought he was known for creating not the art itself, but the machinery, so to speak.
Mm.
Mhm. That's what I was surprised. I was like,
the
damn.
factory settings for production of so many good artists.
The
And
house is really small too. Like if anybody's been to the Motown, whatever, it's like
Mm.
I've been
amazing.
outside of it. I drove past it. Walked.
Yeah.
I think we walked past it. It's very small, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, you're just in a regular neighborhood.
Yeah, in a regular house. It's
Yeah,
like
in a
all that-
regular
they
house.
built
Like,
that
damn,
shit
all
out,
this was going on here, and these people live
Wow.
like right there.
Wow.
Like, you got a house right there.
Mm.
Somebody like they're like, turn that music down.
Right. I know somebody was mad and shit. Turn that
All
shit
night.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say all birds of a feather, but maybe was Barry Gordy kind of like the template for the dirtbag record mogul that certain people who are sitting in federal jail this morning, did they maybe emulate a little bit of his work ethic?
He was known as a wild boy, right? Didn't he have a baby with Diana? And he
Oh
was
yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know
Yes,
what
several
levels
babies.
or whatever. I'm sure
He was married and divorced 3 times. He has 8 children with 6 different women.
Ah, damn! Remember he was busy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a man of town.
Every town, lots of
Yeah.
towns. Apparently, he's a man of a lot of towns. Yeesh.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. So that is your artist spotlight for the
Diddy
day.
too. Don't Diddy got a rock of kids by like 6 broads? Yep, sure does.
I think he does. Yeah, Diddy got a lot of.
I don't know.
You're
I don't
welcome.
know, but we were talking about Barry Gordy, so
Because we talked about Diddy on Patreon.
just wanted to give a
so
little
folks should go check
spotlight and
that
love
out.
to him. That's
We
all.
did
Cool.
talk about, but
If you-
shit has
Let's
developed.
not
really-
dirty up Barry's name. And Barry's still
you
alive.
really-
Yeah, he is. He's
Mhm.
still alive.
Sure
Like
is.
90
If you really want to hear what Kamal said about Diddy, Got to go to Patreon.
That's
Oh, I
right.
think there's more that can be said because now there's an indictment, right? I'd be curious Camus' take on what they charge. And we don't have to talk about Diddy, fuck that nigga, but like, from a legal perspective, you know what I'm saying? We have a legal mind amongst us. He may have some thoughts, some insights.
Well, we talked about it on Patreon, but we like the interesting thing is that he was denied bail to me. I mean, that seems a little that is one of those things. It's like there's tons of ways.
What is the standard for that, Kamal?
That's the thing. There is no real. I mean, it's supposed to. The standard is supposed to be if you're a flight risk, right? If you are someone who will show up to court and make all your court appearances, then you're supposed to be granted bail as a way to give, you're giving a little money, so you owe something, and you're going to be showing to make sure that at the end of your trial, no matter how it comes out, you will get your bail back or whatever. But unless you're supposed to be a flight risk or a danger to the community.
There we go. Ding, ding. That's why I think they held him.
Well, they claimed is that he would be influencing, if he was let out, the possibility would be that he would influence witnesses.
That's right. And
That's
he's already shown that he would do that, right?
Well, I can't say. I don't know. I've not looked.
Well, let me say, because one of the other Danny D. Kane girls, and I know somebody in the chat probably knows, but this young woman allegedly, she had recently released a statement kind of in support of Diddy, or saying that, the things that Dawn Richards witnessed, that wasn't her experience. But apparently this young woman had been called dozens of times by Diddy. He had called her, like was harassing her, haranguing her. And then she made her statement, and then apparently he left her alone or stopped calling her by that point. So I think there's already some alleged evidence that he is already on his bullshit, trying to get people to get their story right, or to
can't, or
not no more, because his ass is in the nigga. You getting held right now with no access, no bond. So yeah, I think he is dangerous.
Yeah, and a trial will take like at least 8 months to a year to get an actual trial on a case this big. So and I think he's already lost his first appeal on it. So unless there's another appeal, Diddy will be sitting in the Brooklyn House of Detention, if I'm not mistaken, for at least 8 months to a year. That dynasty is done.
That dynasty.
What do y'all think this is doing right now to the end? Like, what? I bet you nobody is on their phones.
I bet you everybody who went to one of them parties is looking for pictures and looking to destroy pictures. Looking to destroy pictures.
Let me hit that
Every
TMZ
white
archive.
party.
Let's see who's been to these white parties. Let's go back in time.
Everybody seems to have been.
Everybody, right?
It's going to be
white parties at the Hamptons.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of people doing whatever
all shiny
you
with baby oil. 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Wow. That shouldn't be what jumps out at people, though it is. It is jumping out at people. But
it does sound like a lot of baby oil. What
are
you doing? I mean,
okay.
But I mean, you guys, have you already talked about this Prince thing that you're doing, Jared?
Yeah.
Only that I moved it to 12 o'clock because I didn't want to interrupt. I forgot about.
That's all we talked about.
The schedules. But other
no,
than that,
I was curious. I saw the promos, and so I was like, "What is the Prince? Is that the New York Times one or another article?"
Yeah. Did you see that? I thought it was New Yorker, but it's probably the Times.
I was not pleased. I am on the side of, I think it's a little bit of, although I haven't seen it. For those who don't know, there's supposed to be a major 10-12 hour documentary.
They got it down to 9. Edelman said he got it down to 9, and.
But the contract says it has to be shorter than that.
The contract. Well, they found a clause that said the contract that it can't be longer than 6. But the reason the reason and then he said he said I would have to re-edit the entire thing from the beginning. And the reason they said that, but the reason they're saying that the latest iteration of the estate is that they say it makes Prince look bad.
Yeah, they say it's a hit piece.
In fact, they called it a hit piece. Yep.
Really?
And I disagree. I think the way the article writes about it, at least, and my bias in favor of Edelman, given his O.J. Made in America documentary, I don't think it's a hit piece. I think it's just going to be more honest than what they would want. It's just not going to be a PR piece. That's what it is. So it's going to talk about his evolving stance on homosexuality, his evolving stance on abuse of women, his evolution some would say, some might describe it differently, with religion, and then but the way the article's written about the documentary, it fully contextualizes all of this in someone who himself suffered tremendously as a child and of a violent household. I mean the alleged abuses that he had to overcome just as a kid. I mean, so again, it's not, as the article said, it's not to justify, but it's just, it fully explains this person. And then, but the idea that we're not going to.
Yeah, I think that
No.
Quintarin Spencer said, now I think about it, you could split it 9 hours in 9 episodes. You make much more money doing it that way.
Well, I'm sure Netflix, of course, would do it that way. The issue isn't, you're not going to sit there for 9 hours. They're going to do it they're going to do it that way in episodes. But the point is that the family is using the length of it to justify their denial of it coming out, because they just don't want
the documentary.
And I'm suspicious.
The lawyer who is the I forgot his name, but it's the black lawyer who supposedly is kind of like in the background in charge.
McMillan, or he's got like an Irish name too, which was weird.
Yeah. Who helped Prince early, decades ago when he was having his dispute with Warner Brothers Records, claim back his masters. And I think he's been a part of Prince's career or life, up until the passing. But the claim was that they were
but apparently they had a falling out too at some point. Like they had a strained relationship too. Anyway, the way I read it though, he's trying to protect the PR and try to protect the value, and that they feel like this would hurt the value of Prince's
and the contradictions of Prince saying the other one was him being publicly anti-drug, but privately addicted apparently to the painkillers because of all I guess the moves in his career, like the splits with the high heels, jumping off of pianos and all that kind of stuff. Like, so he injured his I think his back, and kind of lived like the last part of his life in a lot of severe pain, and got addicted to meds, which of course is the cause, I guess, for his ultimate demise or whatever.
And
so I'm interested.
They say that this is how a lot of his later performances ended up, with just him and a piano, which I am pissed that I didn't see. I would have, oh my God, that would have been amazing. Because even the little snippets that you get on that from 1983, Mike and a piano on.
But that was his last tour. His last tour was him and his piano.
And it was
I wish I had seen that.
I know people that went to that show.
Damn.
And they said it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I saw him twice with the full band, and I think this would have been better. I think this would have even been better, because even in those performances, when he would just sit down and give extended intros to Purple Rain or something else, just him sitting on a piano, like it's bananas.
Yeah.
And then the story behind, there's all kinds of, we could do the show right now. The whole the story behind Guitar Gently Weeps.
Ooh.
Like he's that performance has a story behind it, and it's revolutionary petty. This is my guy. This is my guy. This is how I know, because the short of it is Rolling Stone the year before left him off the top 100 list of guitarists.
Oh wow.
So he was like, word?
Rag. Look at the rag. A whole rag. Rolling Stone. Throw it away. Throw it all in the garbage. How the fuck you leave Prince off the top 100?
Wow.
He should have been the number one guitarist alive.
I don't mind him leaving Jimmy up there.
Alive.
I don't mind him leaving Jimmy up there, but I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about alive. My bad.
Oh, alive. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
He was alive when he was alive.
First, there was a lot of whack guitarists. They had. Oh no, that was a more recent
have
one. I was
Lenny
say.
up there.
What?
Lenny who? Are you out of your mind?
It must be a whole nother Lenny.
What about
Red.
Tito?
What?
Lead
You said Tito?
Lead
son.
guitarist for
Look,
the Jackson 5.
Come on, son.
I was just doing a plug. 11
Now,
o'clock.
now you playing with us.
Now you I'm gonna make Jared get upset. He's in the chat. Lenny Kravitz, top 100 guitars. Watch Jared pop a blood vessel.
Whoa.
That'll be the
Alright.
dumb shit that gets me too. It ain't gonna be COINTELPRO.
So who's
or
top
Too
five?
Slick. It's gonna be
Top
Ear
five
Dr.
guitarists
Brown.
in your thoughts.
I mean, in no particular order. John Lee Hooker, Ernie Isley, Jimi Hendrix. We can go here. Absolutely Prince. Who's my
What's her
favorite
name?
white man on the guitar? I don't know. Oh, Jeff Beck. I throw Jeff Beck up there for a white honorable mention.
Prince, Hendrix. What's her name? Betty Lou. What's the woman's name?
Oh,
Thor-
sister
Thor-
Rosetta.
Rosetta. I've only started to catch that. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like I've just started catching those old film clips. I was like, damn. And a lot of artists give her credit, obviously, for so breaking out the rock and roll guitar or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, this is old school, but Chuck Berry, I thought doesn't get enough credit for like what he did on the guitar.
Absolutely doesn't get enough credit. He was styled on them niggas. He gave a lot of niggas a style.
Yeah. I think that's 4. Okay, I'll leave it at 5. Although I might be guessing otherwise.
Slash don't make it.
Top guitarist of all time?
Come on, man.
Slash shred. I don't want to.
Really making
Am I losing my credibility over here, Jay?
That's already out the window. This is just a matter of whether I'm going to survive the show. That's the only issue at this point.
All right, your top 5 then.
Oh, BB King, somebody said.
BB King.
Oh, duh. Yeah, all of it. I mean, it's kind of hard to do a top 5.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I'm struggling. So I'm going to just because the jazz category deserves, I'm going to put Wes Montgomery in there. I'm going to put DeHondo Smith in there. The brother we had on the remix a couple years ago, Parrish's cousin. This dude, so part of the problem that I have is that, quite honestly, if you spend a lot of time around musicians and live shows, there's an amazing amount of people that just get no credit. If we had to, but in terms of if we had to pick a white, one reason I would pick Jimmy Page over Jeff Beck, unless I just don't know this about Jeff Beck, is that Jimmy Page, as an early musician, played as a session artist in England, which to me elevates people, because that means you're playing on a whole bunch of people's records, that everybody wants you playing on their record because you're that good. So
you don't know that about Jeff Beck.
I don't. Did he do that too?
A bit. He is on a goddamn gorgeous Stevie Wonder record called "Looking for Another Pure Love." It is sublime. And during the song, you hear Stevie, like Jeff is starting to play, and Stevie goes, "Do it, Jeff." Do it, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff played on some other people's stuff too.
Except Jeff didn't play with Led Zeppelin though, and Zeppelin they got way more monsters. So that would just be for me. If I had to have I don't know, but I could do this without whites though.
Then y'all throwing Eric Clapton as a white?
No,
that nigga,
no.
What do y'all think about Troy's list right here? Jimmy, Prince, Gary Clark Jr., Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan is nasty.
And Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters, we'll take Muddy Waters, and we will also take Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr. is nothing to be played with out here, and you don't really get it until you see him live. And once you see him live, he is mesmerizing. Like it's an experience to see Gary Clark Jr. perform. And I can't tell you any of his songs. I don't know what song he sang, but I've seen him perform, and it was like, God damn, this nigga is ill.
Now, I think we have another flag on the play.
Bo Diddley.
Sly Stone. Let's get it straight here. On the bass,
we can say Thunder Thumbs then.
Hold on. But bass and lead guitar are two different things, y'all. We're not doing apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But also, Larry Graham played the bass.
Bootsy
Sly and
Collins
the Family Stone. But when you hear Sly and the Family Stone, he says they literally do the song because Mama's Biscuits covered it. They literally do the song. The jam where everybody calls out their names. So it's Larry Graham on the bass. They tell you who's playing what. So Sly Stone wasn't playing bass.
Carlos Santana.
No, Carlos Santana. Yeah.
Yep.
That's another good. Yeah.
That wasn't Larry Graham credited
Willie Nelson
responsible for getting Prince hooked on Jehovah's Witness. At least that's what the article.
That's what the article said.
Yeah.
He wasn't raised Jehovah's Witness? I thought he was raised Jehovah's Witness. He wasn't?
No. Larry Graham introduced the religion into his life. They made it sound like They made it sound a little creepy, like a little bit like he I don't know, indoctrinated him as opposed to
George Benson.
like grown ass man saw it and he was interested. But George Benson is a master guitar player.
Yes, I was just about to say George is that dude.
He's also credited with that foundational go-go sound, according to Chuck Brown. In one of his tracks. Yeah, there's a George Benson break that Chuck was like, hold up. He got into that boom, da, boom, boom, da, boom, boom. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna do something with that right there.
Making that. Thank you, George.
Any other sisters on guitar?
One that I was thinking of is
somebody just said Annie DeFranco. I don't know.
I don't know her.
I know who she is. I don't know.
I mean, I know who she is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Her and Gary Clark Jr. I know of their accolades, but I have not heard them enough. Do you know who I have heard? Speaking of women, that they got it in the chat before me. Her is nice.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Her is him.
Her is that girl.
Her is that him. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, she is nice.
Yeah, she
she played the Super Bowl, didn't she? Up there with Usher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So, and let's not forget Lauryn Hill. Now I'm just playing.
Wow. Why are you
did a whole album with the guitar.
Why are you choosing violence?
I know why the violence. I already apologized for the misscheduling, ear doctor. This is just abuse now.
He did a whole album with a guitar, yo.
Oh, God, yeah. Please don't remind me.
What happened?
Her acoustic album. After the breakup. Yeah, it really was. I was not pleased.
She doing them struggles drums.
Tracy Chapman. Tracy Chapman. How about it?
I don't know about her guitar prowess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
I was gonna say though that last when Prince at the end when he throws that shit up in the air and it disappears because if somebody grabs it, that's that, and he just
because he was saying, "How dare you?"
Yeah.
How dare you? And when you watch the video, I watched it like 5 times last night.
I did too.
The article. When the videos, he's just standing there looking at him, strumming, like, here, enjoy yourselves. You got like 3 minutes of life left in you, motherfucker.
That's it. Because he didn't sing nothing. Prince wasn't up there singing. Nope. Like he went up there and again, and I told you guys that outfit, that purple hat and the jacket, it is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by itself in its own little display case because it was over. I've never seen anything like that before. And y'all probably may not ever see anything like that since. And to your point, Jared, I need to know the story behind that. I need to know it because it was such a braggadocious, like I'm just up here fucking around and I'm better than all y'all put together. And I'm just up here fucking around. You know what I'm saying?
And remember, so again, the article didn't mention this, but if you remember when he did the Super Bowl, he goes into a part where he does what seemed like a random Foo Fighters cover. The song the best of you, right. And then during the performance, when the camera goes in on him, he looks at the camera and winks into the camera. Come to find out, he did that because he was letting them know you covered one of my songs without permission. And I don't play that shit. So I'm going to now do your song better than any of you motherfuckers could ever. That's why that's my guy.
I
know. Could you? Oh my God. That's why the universe didn't let me have any more talent than I have. They left me at the exact level. Because if I was any more talented or capable, I would be a damn tyrant out here. Absolutely. A piano and a microphone, and I could just sing you into your nightmares, motherfucker. Hell yeah. No, but so that was essentially it. I mean, they don't spend too much time, but that's why I want to see the documentary because she says in the author of the article says that in the documentary, Edelman goes into that more. We only get this little. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's a nice tease, but we don't get the I want to see more. I want the whole thing. I want 9 hours. I want to like this is
I wanna
who
hear
around
about-
here
I
got the
wanna hear about the-
connections.
I want the Prince Rick James beef. Can we get that?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
a word of that is mentioned in this article. So I don't
Really?
not a word.
Wow.
I heard
Not a
about
word.
it in the Rick
Was it-
James
was it probably-
documentary.
who wrote the article? A white again.
It probably
White-
was.
I don't
I mean, that's what happened in
I mean,
Minneapolis.
It's the New York Times.
Edelman is in that is in some circles. Like the joke I wanted to make was who could get us in the room with Edelman and this unedited version. Like I want the 20-hour joint that Netflix
Black Thought got to look at it. Is it Black Thought?
that's the one I want to get to
Questlove.
see. How do we get to
Questlove. I'm sorry,
Questlove? How do we
Questlove.
get to Quest? Who around here? There's got to be 6 degrees to Questlove in them.
Yeah.
Let's make that work. But then I started thinking that exact question because I started reading some of the names that Edelman was moving with, and I was like, I sent him an email. I was and a tweet and a DM or a tweet, and was like, my man, we gotta
Like Black Liberation Media.
Black Jew, but I'm like Black Jews unite. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Because I'm like, but anyway, I'm
God
just
damn,
really
it's 9
pissed.
o'clock. Sorry.
It's 9
I
o'clock.
do
Take a
believe
break,
Rick
and then we
James
got to
would
get to Kamal's favorite white man.
All right,
I got it.
We actually have news, y'all. This shit happening.
Oh, okay. All right. Kim did send me an
always
email.
do.
Kim sent me an email. I got the email. We could do the serious shit. I
All right.
you know.
That's it, you know how we do on Thursday. We get to it when we get to it. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Remix on the remix, y'all. Right here. Let's do it.
You better know. It's not a crime, it's not a crime. Remember that girl. What are they? Hey, question I ask. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna do. Tell me, baby girl, if your love is really true. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna
Come
do.
on.
Tell me, baby girl. Hey, I know I'm like, no. Yo, if you really love me, let it flow. And if you don't love me, let me go. What in the road, boy, I let you know that.
Let's go.
It's not.
All right. Remix on the remix. Let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1986 when we talking about the Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill. Name of this song is Hold It Now, Hit It, mixed with a little bit of 2001. We talking about Tonto Metro and Devante with their album The Beat Goes On, and the name of this song is Give It To Her. So that is what it is right here, the remix on the remix. Now, let's get back to the crew. You know how we do. Let's get it. One of the hardest beats ever. Oh my
Why do I
God.
think that Tonto Metro and Devante is older than 01? Something it feels very mid 90s to me.
Mm.
Late 90s. Anyway, I
Yeah,
could be
man.
wrong. It's fine. That was a good mix. Thank you, Air Doctor.
appreciate it. I know you hate it, Kim, but
I hate to love it though. I like it, and I'm mad that I like because I don't like mashups. But you're the only one that does them good, to be honest. So
I appreciate it. I keep
Keep
working
it
on
up.
it. All right. Well, let me let y'all get to some news. I'm out.
thanks. Hey, remixers. Sorry, it turned into classical breakdown here for a second, giving you all a preview. But it's actually the Thursday edition of the Remix Morning Show. Full crew in the house. We got J Rod, we got Kamal, Ear Doctor, Kim Brown. Big up to all of our comrades. What's up, Ricky Ryan in the chat? Jacqueline Lukeman, L Dub, LJ. L Dub, LJ Dub. You know what I'm saying? That's anyway. But thanks everybody for joining us. Engage with our stuff. That like it, love it, subscribe to it, share it, comment under it, chat amongst it. We appreciate you guys and all that y'all do here and elsewhere. So thank you all so much. blkliberationmedia.org, patreon.com/Black Liberation Media. If you want to do the material support, we will always take it. And thank you so much for it. Lots of news to get into, Jared. So anywhere on that email, you can go ahead and get started. I think I sent you 3 joints, but
I only get 2 for some reason. I don't know if it's my emails limit these deliveries. I don't know, but I only got 2. So I'll start with the first one here, which is from
that's going to be from Status Coup. Status Coup News. So there was protests outside of the metro, the subway station in Brownsville, Brooklyn. This was after NYPD opened fire on a crowded subway platform, injuring 4 with gunfire. Why? Because they were chasing a man down who allegedly jumped the turnstile, a grand total of $2.90. They opened fire on this person. I'm not actually sure what the latest condition of the person, multiple persons who were shot, including one NYPD who was shot by, quote, friendly fire. Okay. These niggas shooting at each other. Jesus Christ. So, but a bystander was seriously injured, critically wounded with a gunshot to the head. A 49-year-old man who was just minding his fucking business on the platform when NYPD's subway safety unit decides to come and make everything safe by opening fire amongst a crowded platform subway in Brooklyn. So protests came out last night. I believe this is the Sutter Avenue subway station. People came out. So this is from Status Coup News. Photojournalist John Farina was on the scene. So let's take a look at what happened.
Was there a specific moment you wanted? Because otherwise it's just
I mean, we can Ear Doctor allow us 60 to 90 seconds of some protest scenes? We don't have to watch it in order. I guess you can skip around if you want to, but they was out there is the point. I wanted to show y'all the amount of people that came out.
Somebody taking a headshot.
What happened here?
Listen, well, the only thing that we can say for sure is that 3 people were shot by NYPD, and we got lives. That's all we got. That's all we got. But that's enough for black people to say we're not going for that.
Good pick.
Make a fair free. Right. Make it free and it's not an issue. Subsidize it with the billionaires in New York. I mean, whatever.
Motherfucking NYPD budget. They don't need $10 billion or whatever the ridiculous amount that NYPD get, because look at what they spend the money on. They spend the money on these fucking cowboy dickheads who are armed to the teeth, who think that it's their duty to make the subway safe, that somehow someone not paying for a subway fare is making the subway unsafe. So take it right out of their budget. Make all the public transportation free and take it directly from the police, because this is what they spend their time doing. Marijuana is legalized, so they can't fucking bust niggas for smoking weed no more, right? And now this is what they choose to do. You know, chase down people with guns and tasers simply because they don't pay the fare. Oh, and by the way, the alleged knife that the alleged suspect allegedly charged that police with, can't find a knife. Where the knife? Who lost the knife? Where'd the knife go? Because
they
he's lying.
They lying. Yeah, they just busting shots. Like, imagine that, like over a fare, because I didn't pay a fare. Guns are drawn and bullets are shot because you didn't pay a fare. That's again, like it's just a criminal ring. And in fact, they're trying to justify it with suggesting that somebody had a weapon. I mean, it's ridiculous on its face or whatever like that. I mean, and they don't even allow you. There was a movement a little while ago to have said swipe it forward or something like that, where you would pay somebody else's. They made that illegal. So I can't even pay for somebody if I want it with my own money. That was something they outlawed, that you cannot pay for somebody else. Like this is strange. Like here you go. It's like that you can't do. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I think we should just go full Black Mirror. And if we're not implanting chips in our heads, at minimum, you have to, if you want to have a working cell phone, you have to download an app that is connected up like the Israeli beepers. And then, you know, we can just get rid of the police, and then just whenever you do something wrong, somebody could just push a button and you just, you know, you just expire right there. You just blow up right there. I just think that should be the solution. Why do we, that way we don't have to have bullets flying through subways. And that is
Somebody is
you
shot
just
in the
start
head.
censoring myself.
Somebody is shot in the head who didn't have shit to do with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm sorry for other people that were injured too. A 26-year-old woman was grazed by a bullet. You know, the pig got shot. You know, so well. But I mean, but again, shot by your own man's though. That's all y'all. That's all of this is y'all's fault. But the brother who is laid up now with a bullet in his head because NYPD thinks that it's perfectly appropriate. This is a perfectly appropriate use of force to pull out guns. It's so ridiculous and so dystopian and so dark and evil. Like it really, we lack words. I was very encouraged to see the folks in Brownsville come out and be like, nah.
Yeah. And they had like, and again, what is it, like $290? It's like, that's like for one ride back and forth. It's like $6. If you have to go places, and that's the thing too, it's not a cheap thing anymore. Like you get a weekly pass or a monthly pass. Some things are upwards of $80 or $100. So you got to pay money out your pocket for your only way to get around. Because like if you can't afford an Uber, the subway's all you got, right? You can't Uber, taxi cabs, walk-in. It's like buses and subways. Mm-hmm. So that kind of expense is crazy in New York at this stage. It's like work. So if you can't get to a social service, a job, or whatever, what else you going to do but like jump the fare? And they take it. I mean, and that's like half their job. Half those cops is like they got them like in plain clothes. They got them in the subway stations. Like, so y'all just looking to catch motherfuckers for a subway to jump in the subway. Not something that's going to break your budget. Not something that you can't afford to pay for. The city can't afford with the state funding and federal.
And nothing causing harm to anybody.
Yeah, no harm whatsoever.
Right.
But that's it. They'll hem you up and give you the whole speech, you know, like, oh, you just like, just write the fucking ticket.
They got me.
Yeah.
Well, that did happen to you, Air Doctor. Exactly. I mean,
they got me for going between. I mean, I got a couple of times, but one time going between a car, they outlawed going from one car to another car, or made it an offense. And some young cop, it made us get off the train. And then he started doing that little rap that they like to do, and it's like, yo, B, I'm like 20 years older than you. I don't need no advice. If you want to write me a ticket, and let's just get this done. Because it's that, like, part of it is just the power equation, right? It's just the ability to draw a gun. It's the ability to stop you. It's the ability to pull out mace. It's the ability to put you in handcuffs. They just get off on it because it's like you got no power other than what somebody else is giving you to detain, obviously shoot, harm, arrest other people. And they get off on it. They're just trained to get off on it.
You guys should see the commentary offered up by the mayor and I guess whoever's the police chief or interim police commissioner, since the other nigga quit, since he going the fuck down with Eric Adams. That's another story. But all the you know, our officers did an outstanding job. They did, you know, what they were trained to do, and you know, not even saying no condolences or you know, well wishes towards the victims, the innocent bystanders who were shot. They justified it all, right? And the New York media, I mean, amazing cop stenographers, just brilliant. I mean, just, you know, and the NYPD had to open fire, I mean, some of the language, go to Tuesday's edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. I was joined by the erudite Ricky Ryan. You know what I'm saying? The propaganda, and we broke down the propaganda behind how the media was spinning it. A man armed with a knife charged at officers who were forced to open fire. I'm like, no, They were not forced to open fire. They could have minded their fucking business and left that man alone. Because what was the alternative to not pursuing him? He would have got on the train, minded his business, and everybody at that subway station would have went on about their day as usual. This happened at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday, y'all. Insanity, absolute insanity.
And writ large, I mean, we could move on to the next story, but writ large, that's the same propaganda model that serves international relations, right? It's always claiming that the cops did something, or the cops or the military, that there was a justification always for like killing and shooting people. The state is never at fault under their realm.
Mhm. What was the second thing you got, JB?
Well, I
this
was
white man. Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
That's all I got because I don't
Okay.
read the language, the script that's written there, so I don't know what's going on here.
So he said you don't read the language. So I think there was a meeting, and let me I'm not of the European Parliament, and this is one of the representatives from Poland to the European Parliament. Now I'm not clear. He's about to shout out in a very awesome way. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. I'm not sure if Blinken was present, so I'm not sure if this was actually said to his face, but it was said. So go ahead and run that, JB. It's quick.
Blinken, go home. Go home as soon as possible. Get lost. Get lost. We don't want you here. We don't want Polish people paying and dying for your wars. Thank you very much.
Damn.
So there you go.
Blinken, go home. Damn.
So Poland not with the shits, apparently. So when now Polo
Not now, right
Poland,
now.
Poland is a NATO member. Thoughts? What are your thoughts? A fellow NATO member telling the HCICs out there, go to fuck home.
HCIC.
We don't want no parts of this.
Well, obviously they can always be overridden, but it's always nice to hear somebody stand up and strongly rebuke these fools to say, at least raise their hand and say, look, I might not be able to stop you, but don't act like we're complicit. And we are loudly telling you we're not. Take your ass on. I love it. May it spread.
Yeah, the question. Yeah, I mean, the U.S. is what's the saying that the U.S. is willing to fight this war to the last Ukrainian life.
Right.
So that's what we got, and now it's going to be the last Poland. Like everybody can jump in. They'll pay for it in the background, but everybody can jump in to go up against the Russians and destabilize. And again, and all this is about is putting more weapons on the Russian border, right? That's what this whole war is about. Russia said many a time, a red line is like, and it goes all the way back to the historical founding of NATO in a sense. If it's like, okay, you got your military conglomerate, your groups that one person gets invaded, that's cool, but just don't come here. And every decade, boom, get closer, boom, get closer. And Ukraine was like a red line or a final straw, where it was like, this cannot keep happening, and there's going to be consequences if this keeps pushing or going this way. So it's not. So I'm always surprised when one of them breaks away, because it's all, you never know how long they're going to like pull them back. What's going to make them pull back? What's the agenda behind it? But I continually just think that we're in this tumultuous period, particularly both domestically and internationally, where the empire. I'm not at the stage of claiming it's coming undone, but there's definitely so much pushback, whether or not that's on the continent itself in Africa, so-called Middle East, Asia, Europeans themselves, who are like, again, you're using us to fight these wars. That the empire, which is a worldwide empire, cannot plug every hole. And so we'll see what's happening here militarily speaking, and then that's going to translate into some of the stuff that's happening with BRICS and the economic issues. So I just think we're in a real interesting time period around what's going to be happening internationally for the next decade or so.
Very much so. So Poland sits, I think, strategically betwixt Ukraine and then what borders Poland on the east? I don't know. Is that Germany? Maybe. But you got to go through Poland to get to Ukraine to get to Russia, right? So the Polish representative here saying Blinken go home. Now, whether or not he got the juice or not, I don't know. but if his rhetoric is to be believed, I mean, strategically speaking, that Poland would be very important for a NATO route to get to Russia to go to the Russian front to fight. And if Poland is like, nope, y'all can't run that shit through here. Y'all gonna have to run that shit somewhere else through Macedonia. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because I think also, do I have this right? Did Spain halt some sort of exports to Israel? I can't remember if it was coal. I know Colombia halted their coal or did something with the coal, but I think Spain also has done something to say that they're not giving certain supplies, whatever, to Israel. So it's like it doesn't seem as though the West is 100% united on all of these different wars that the United States and Israel, I suppose, are trying to accelerate and make hotter.
Yeah, I just put up a map real quick to say, like, so Germany is to the west of Poland, Ukraine is to the east, Lithuania, Belarus. So all these nations. So yeah, I mean, in Germany. Obviously, part of the issue is Moscow or Russia, I guess for Poland getting closer or whatever. So none of this had to happen. This war did not have to happen. I guess the latest I heard is like now there's been over 1 million people killed.
Damn.
Total on both sides, whatever. So none of this had to happen. This was a war of choice by the United States and NATO allies. And some of it obviously is meant just to tie Russia up, right, into a military quagmire. But this also allows for Russia, China, Iran, other places to foment their own access or just to be more in unity with each other, both on military and economic means of pushing back the West. And so this war is not necessarily going as the West has expected it to go. Russia is not given any signs that it's not going to keep pushing and look for a settlement, which basically means there will be no NATO in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I think I sent another story.
You did. It. Let's see.
Remixers, are y'all liking the video? Please show us. Thank you. Thumbs up on Joints Remix Morning Show Thursday edition. Join me and the Ear Doctor coming up at 11 for Classical Breakdown. We're doing Jackson 5/The Jacksons, remembering Tito Jackson, who has passed away. So join us back here at 11. Next story coming out of Lebanon. This shit is bonkers. And this shit got me looking at my phone skeptically. Okay. I'm like, nigga, are you the enemy, iPhone 12? Are you the fucking enemy here? This is terrorism. And these motherfucking mainstream news outlets are like, oh, no, this is a terrorist attack on civilians of Lebanon. And it needs to be called out as such. If Russia did this to people in Ukraine, if China did this, if Iran did this, it would be leading the news like this is the next step in the war on terror. They have accelerated but now niggas on TV is shrugging like, wow, this shit crazy. No, it's terrorism. Terrorism. This was a terrorist attack on the civilian population of Lebanon. So anyway, let's run the Al Jazeera package.
Al Jazeera Podcasts.
Today, the dust has not settled after a wave of pager explosions across Lebanon.
Local media reports say the pagers simultaneously exploded across the country after being hacked by Israel.
Reports indicate that U.S. officials have confirmed Israel was responsible for the attacks. to which Hezbollah has vowed to respond with their punishment. So how did it happen? I'm Malika Bilal, and this is The Take. Joining me is Justin Salhani, an Al Jazeera journalist based in Beirut. I spoke to him on Wednesday afternoon. Justin, thank you for joining The Take, especially on such a busy time. As we speak, there are reports of new explosions going off in Lebanon. Paint a picture for me of what's happened there over the past 24 hours, because videos show these sudden blasts going off in grocery stores, a market, a convenience store. What's been happening in the streets, in the hospitals? What have you seen?
I mean, the initial attacks caused just kind of chaos and panic. I had a friend tell me that he got a phone call and somebody told him, panicked that people are shooting and they don't know where from and they're hitting random targets. So at first it wasn't super clear. And then, as the news started to roll out, it became evident that these were pagers.
Hezbollah has called it one of the biggest security breaches since the group was formed. Emergency departments have been inundated with injured Hezbollah members and civilians.
Devices meant for communication were turned into bombs, exploding in the hands of hundreds of people, many Hezbollah members.
Just now, we're talking within the last half hour, there's been a second attack. It doesn't seem to be at this point as big as the first. At first, the reports were saying something along the lines of these are laptops, mobile phones, and things of that nature. Hezbollah has just denied that, according to their Telegram, basically saying that these were other sort of devices that were bought around the same time or potentially with the same batch as these exploding pagers. And if they were not connected to their batteries, if they were unplugged or the batteries were taken out, then they did not explode. Essentially, what I can tell you is that over the past 24 hours, hospitals have been overrun. Emergency workers, including doctors, etc., were called into work at various hospitals around the country. And just now, right before actually we got on here, I was talking to a communications officer at AUBMC, which is one of the largest and most prestigious hospitals in Lebanon and in Beirut, the capital. Told me that he had just gotten report of the second explosion, and they were, he was running on the move to try to prepare for receiving more people.
Oh, wow. So I want to make sure I got this straight. The attack that took place on Tuesday in Lebanon involved pagers. But Wednesday, it's not pagers. It seems like it's electronic devices, laptops, other things that exploded. Is that right?
So from my understanding, from the people that I've heard from and spoken to, the people who had and were using pagers, if for some reason they did not explode, anyone who still had one had probably thrown it away.
Mm-hmm.
So today, at first, the initial reports said laptops, phones, and things of that nature. Hezbollah denied that and said it was other types of devices. And so I think predominantly walkie-talkies, other electronic devices with the lithium batteries. And the theory, according to experts I've spoken to and other media reports that have been published, have said that Hezbollah's supply line was compromised. Of course, we haven't mentioned this yet, but Hezbollah blames Israel. So does the Lebanese government. Hezbollah has vowed to respond. The Israeli government has not made a statement yet on this event, but I think that's where all eyes are looking at the moment.
So I think we have about a dozen or so people that have been killed. Thousands were injured. Oh, I think the number I heard was over 3,000 so far have been injured by these exploding phones, these exploding devices. And while even Al Jazz says there that most of the people who had these exploding devices were Hezbollah members, they were not exclusively that. And people who were just in proximity of these devices, who not Hezbollah at all, in the grocery store, in regular places, soft targets, right, as it were. Lots of
two
people
children were killed,
injured and maimed. Yes,
no, two children were killed.
Killed.
As part of the yeah. So, I think it's and then the compromise. Hezbollah was compromised by thinking that it was buying these pagers apparently from a Taiwanese company, and Israel basically was behind the scenes. The ones who manufactured the pagers and put the small explosive devices within or explosive materials within the pagers, and then had a setting where at a certain time they could detonate it from from other places or whatever. So in some ways this is Israel kind of bragging that we can get to you any way we want, or and like you said, it doesn't matter if you're a civilian. They didn't care who you were if you got the pagers. The idea was that that they could get to you, whatever like that. It doesn't change, on the ground. The dynamics between Hezbollah and Israel is Hezbollah as a resistance force is not it's not shrinking because of this or whatever like that. But this was just a way of showing its quote unquote ability to reach the axis of resistance. And of course it has that ability because it's supplied by the biggest warmonger in the world, the United States, with all the technology and information and resources the United States has. So of course it will always, or most likely always, maintain that dominance in terms of the technology dominance in terms of the weapons made and manufactured, and even the ability to reach places in Iran and Hezbollah members or whatever. But the axis of resistance continues to go on. And in fact, if you look at the time period, like the last 20 years, the axis of resistance has actually just gotten stronger. And so these these ways of trying to bring down morale and again show that it has some sort of superiority weapons wise does not change the facts on the ground that Israel is currently surrounded by the axis of resistance, which is willing and ready to defend itself as Israel continues to try to colonize not only all of Palestine, but other parts of the so-called Middle East.
I really don't have anything to add. Yeah. Anyway, your doctor said wrap anyway.
Well,
So
hold on.
yeah.
I mean, y'all, the timing of this, we are 2 months away from the US election. Netanyahu seems to be ready, willing, and able to bring the motherfucking ruckus. And I guess, we know that there's nothing going to change policy wise from Biden to Harris, or even from fucking Biden to Trump, right? What position does this put the US in? Or I guess the US position doesn't change at all. But y'all's thoughts about I guess the timing of this. Is Netanyahu continually trying, I can't say even force US's hand, because what's there to force? Like, they still sending
No,
the
they're not
weapons.
forcing. Yeah,
Right.
And the United States came out with a statement denying that it had any pre-knowledge of any of this happening, which is complete crazy or BS or whatever. Like, some operation like this does not happen without the United States not only fully being informed but fully being a part of it, right? So the sort of public denials are just to placate people. They're like, oh no, we did not involved in that, but of course they were involved in it. And so I think that part of what we are seeing on the ground is that part of the Israeli military force is beginning to move towards Lebanon, towards southern Lebanon in particular. And so the next phase of Israel's war on all of its neighbors potentially is a wider war with Hezbollah. And so some of that is starting to creep in as to what, for Hezbollah, it's like, what is the deterrent that how far can they go and push back that stops Israel or shows Israel that you can't just do this without there being some sort of response to it. And I think both parties are trying not to have an actual hot war, but it seems that we're potentially headed that way. The Houthis, remember just a few days ago, the Houthis were able to have a missile hit Israel. And so again, the axis of resistance is all around. Whether or not it has the technological prowess to defeat Israel is something else, because the United States, again, Jordan, Egypt, even Saudi Arabia to a degree, Turkey to a degree, all of these countries around Israel refuse to do the same things that the Axis is doing in terms of challenging its power on the ground. But can it hurt Israel? Does Israel want this fight? I don't know. I don't know if it truly does. I know that part of the discussion is that Netanyahu wants this fight in order to keep himself in power. And so that's part of the calculus that's being claimed, that he keeps pushing, because if things cool down, then he will be the target in terms of removing him from office. But But I do think that Israel wants war. It's just a matter of how much war they want, right? Because on both sides now of the border, northern Israel is, for the first time, maybe in the history of the country, there's a depopulation of northern Israel because of the fear of Hezbollah being able to strike back when Israel strikes in southern Lebanon. In southern Lebanon, of course, some of its population has also been moved away, but for the first time, northern Israel is depopulated, and people are saying that there's a larger depopulation happening in Israel as people fly back out to their actual home countries where they're actually from, and leave Israel. So we'll see. And supposedly it's having a devastating impact on its economy. So we shall see what's going to happen next.
Y'all, this is chilling. Hold on, I know what your doctor's trying to rush us, but y'all, I mean, as for people,
He's not. I misspoke, Kim. I misspoke. He wasn't rushing us before. That was my fault.
Okay. For people that are part of resistance movements here or really anywhere, this really should have sent a chill down everybody's spine, right? Because this is beyond, like, everybody knows that the surveillance state is on steroids. Now this is surveillance being weaponized via communications devices, right? And for our wonderful, learned folks that have been impressing upon us to make these connections between what Israel does to its to those that resist it versus how and how Israel trains the US to engage against marginalized populations here. I mean, why not us? Why ain't my iPhone a fucking deadly weapon, or potentially could be used to become one, right? Like this was scary to me on so many levels, just not only because the randomness, but the coordination, the synchronicity of the detonations, that they all went off at once, right? Like that is terrifying. So what do you guys think, like, what, as organizers, like how do you feel about this? And should we be looking at alternative methods of communications that maybe are perhaps a little bit lower tech? I want to check out ham radios and shortwave radios and figure out ways that we could communicate. I mean, everything's over the airways, but it's not quite as able to be tracked. I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but like,
no. I mean, that was part of the Hezbollah idea anyway, was to get off of cell phones and to have some communications on pagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately for them and us, we're not in charge of the supply line. And I think that's the other development that should be coming, like similar to what you're saying, right? If you can't feed yourself, right? If you can't somehow, even if it's not a full disconnect, part of this whole idea of BRICS and China and Russia teaming up with each other is that there is a potentially a way in which at least these larger nations with their allied nations, it doesn't speak to necessarily us as organizers in the belly of the beast, but these larger nations and that are working and organizing with each other, when they talk about what BRICS is doing, is creating a new SWIFT system, a new way to trade without having to use the US dollar. China is attempting to make chips which are no longer going to be dependent on Taiwan or American technology. And part of that even is because America is using it as both a carrot and stick, right? By saying we're going to stop your high level technological development by cutting you off of some of these chips. And then China is left to the idea of like, okay, we have to make our own chips. I think for a long time, Iran already got this. Post the 1979 revolution, Iran had its own internal military production facilities that began to make weapons. And sometimes they use reverse technologies on more sophisticated weapons. But the reason you have in the Ukraine war, you actually have the Russians buying weapons from the Iranians, right? Because their drones, their ballistic missiles are at a certain level of advancement that's even more than some of the Russians, right? Because this is how the Iranians have had to survive and prosper or fight back with the limitations of both sanctions and not having sort of the material goods that the West make sure that like countries like Iran can't get, and now Russia can't get. And so there is a decoupling, let's say, of the world economy actually is happening too, at a time of again all the other things that's happening. There's a certain level of will there be phones that only work on a Chinese system or BRIC system, and phones that only work on a Western European system, right? Those things are actually happening to some degree, slowly but surely. I don't know how far it's going to go. Don't know what that means for us. There are different supply lines, things that we can do as organizers and activists. But again, because we're in the belly of the beast, we're always going to be right here, right? So, but the idea that we have to organize, team up with each other, have ways that you're completely correct, that we can communicate with each other that are more low tech, have ways in which we can feed, whether or not those are farms, have again supply line and production lines that get us where we need to be. Again, those things never fully move us away from what the United States could do to us, but they give us more of a fighting chance to create some of these alternatives. Because if we only are at the whim of the United States, then they can do what they do. Like to look at Move, right? No matter what they did, they still could basically surround them in a community and then decide to drop a bomb on them. So there's things that we can do, but there's things that are just like it's only going to be up to our sort of fighting force as organizers and coming together that's going to allow us to even have a chance at fighting back against the West.
I do think some liberal activity should be developed around outlawing this kind of categorizing these kinds of attacks as terrorism in the way that they would have previously mustard gas and stuff like that. I think some kind of an attempt as more appropriate measures are taken. I think that's something that folks should consider. And is this true? What Ndugu Kamau is saying here, BRICS actually famously does not have an agreement on technological development. That
part could I'm not sure about that. I do know that they're working on an alternative blockchain currency to replace the dollar, and they're also working on a currency system to replace the Western-based currency system, which again, when they want to sanction you, they'll just take you off of that system, and it destabilizes your economy completely, because then you can't make any trade worldwide. So I don't know about the other sort of technological.
I hope they do the SWIFT thing and maybe a new current. I hope they don't do cryptocurrency.
That's going to.
I really hope they don't do that, because all that's going to do is put them right back on the same. But whatever. Okay. Yeah. All right. Speaking of improvements and technological advancements.
Yeah. That was a great conversation. I'm even thinking how many of us even sleep with a phone right next to us in the bed. Like, this shit is like really like, this shit is deep, yo. You can just blow us the fuck up anytime they want. It's nobody. We get so scared when we like leave the house. You be like, oh shit, I left my phone. That shit is like really a part of our lives every fucking day. So.
And it's sad and it's intentional. I think that's by design, right? I mean, number one, everybody, please remember your phone is a snitch. Your phone is going to tell on you for everything. Your phone is going to tell every communication that you sent. Your phone is going to tell your location every minute of the day. So, if you do some underground shit, be underground, my niggas. Leave that shit in the fucking house. Like, don't tell all your business over the text. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes some shit got to be in real life. You know what I mean? And put the phone, hide that bitch. If you having some in real life conversations that, woo, go put the phone away. Put that shit in a whole nother room. You know what I'm saying? Put it away. Your phone is telling on you every second of the day. Please don't forget that ever.
Have y'all seen these new bags? These new, I forgot the name of them, but basically they're bags that you can put your phone in. It's supposed to be able to mute to transmission or whatever like that. So that's going on a lot too. Like, people are buying these things to try to make sure that they can, again, either put them in a separate room, but even that, put them in a bag where supposedly it stops the ability of the transmission devices to work for them to eavesdrop on you.
I mean, you can imagine having phones back during the Black Panther period. I mean, that shit. They knew every move and everything going on.
And they still got infiltrated and snitched on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, without the phones, yeah.
Or even without them. All right. Well, I guess we go ahead and take a quick break. We got about 15 minutes left. Not that much time. We don't really have to take a break. Y'all want to? Y'all need a break?
I don't need one. I wanted to do, unless there's something very serious. I have something somewhat news related, but that does. I mean, it's news related. It's just that I'm having so much fun with it that it's become almost comical at this point. But the whole thing around Mehdi Hassan, Jill Stein, and Professor Butch Ware, and this question of is Putin a war criminal? Have you all been following?
Can you explain this? I've only heard a little bit about it.
I got a little clip of it here. So and
as you're setting up, just to let y'all know. So the Green Party, they canceled on us the other day, but we're trying to schedule to have at least Butch on and maybe Jill Stein on next week, maybe even during the morning show. So more information to come on that. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
So they're on with Mehdi Hassan, and he's trying to ask them about their proximity to Putin. And why won't you call him a war criminal? And there's been a lot of reverberating conversations around how Jill responded to this. So I thought I'd play a little bit of this I found on the Majority Report show, which of course used this to further disparage the idea of third parties in the Green Party. But it's relatively quick. Let me just.
That's a war criminal.
Yes, in so many words. Yes, we have said as much. So
you called Netanyahu one, which I think he is.
Oh, absolutely.
Is Putin a war criminal?
So what we said about Putin was that his invasion of Ukraine is criminal. It's a criminal and murderous war.
And he's a war criminal who should be on trial.
Well, by implication.
You're struggling here. It's very simple. This is why people have their doubts about you in Russia.
Well,
why is Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal but not Vladimir Putin?
Well, as John F. Kennedy said, we must not negotiate out of fear, and we must not fear to negotiate. So if you want to be an effective world leader, you don't start by name calling and hurling epithets.
So how will President Stein negotiate with Israel then if you've called Netanyahu a war criminal?
Well, because he very clearly is a war
Putin
criminal.
Clearly isn't a war criminal.
Well, we don't have a decision, put it this way, by the International Criminal Court.
Yes, we do.
For his arrest.
Actually, you're wrong. There's an arrest warrant for Putin. There isn't yet an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. So why is Putin not a war criminal, but Netanyahu is?
Yeah.
I think they both are.
Let me say this. We are sponsoring that war. We are sponsoring Netanyahu.
That's our war.
He is our dog in this fight. That is why we have a responsibility.
No disagreement from me at all. But that does not answer my question.
With Russia, it's
whether
far
we
more
sponsor them or not is irrelevant. Either you're a war criminal or you're not. Is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
In so many words, yes, he is.
I don't know what so many words are. Butch, is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
Let me say that whatever you think he is, if you want to pull him back.
I'm asking what you think.
If you are a world leader, you don't begin your conversation by calling someone a war criminal unless
so why have you called Biden and Netanyahu war criminals?
Because we have a clear strategy and we have a very strong support across
Is Bashar al-Assad and Vladimir Putin war criminals in your view?
She said, Butch, I got this.
So he gives them a hard time, and I honestly felt what's the term, secondhand, not embarrassment, but I felt the struggle because that is a difficult spot to be in when if you don't have a yes or no answer, if you want to have a nuanced answer, and he's not letting you have one, and he wants to paint you in a certain way, and disparage I think ultimately disparage the effort, because it could have been handled differently if he wanted to. But I thought that there was a way. I was reminded, because when I was watching it, I was like, what they needed was Kamal's favorite white man, because dang, and now it'll take a quick second here, but because he had a very good answer for this going back decades at this point, which was, all right, I'm just gonna grab this one. My bad, everybody. My bad. All this time, and I thought it was all set up. Here we go. And it might not have worked perfectly here, but I think this is the approach they need to.
Principles were applied. Every post-World War II president would be indictable.
It's probably true.
Can we run down them real fast? What did I
turn it up a little bit?
Yeah, that was a little low. They are kind of
overthrew the.
All right, so the short of it is, just given the time, I'll find a better.
What? No, I want to hear Chomsky.
I'm gonna find a better. I'm gonna find a
Hold on.
louder version real quick. I had a couple versions here. I picked the wrong one.
Yeah.
But the point is that
I mean, listen, Russia's not our ally. We're not sending billions of aid to Russia. Like, I mean, to me, all of this questions of and always trying to get people pinned down on an answer about is Putin a war criminal? Listen, listen. Let's deal with the genocide that America is 100% behind. Let's go there. Is Kamala Harris a war criminal? Let's ask that question. Yes, she is.
Well, that's sort of where I'm going. That's exactly. And let me run this one.
You said that if the Nuremberg principles were applied, every post-World War II president would be indictable.
It's probably true.
Can we run down them real fast? What did Eisenhower do that you would indict him for?
Eisenhower overthrew the conservative nationalist government of Iran with a military coup. He overthrew the first and last democratic government in Guatemala by military coup and invasion, leading to years of in Iran.
In other words,
25 years
every U.S. president post World War II
overthrown in 79
is guilty
in Guatemala,
according to the Nuremberg principles,
atrocities which are still
of war
continuing.
crimes.
That's after almost 50 years. In Indonesia, this.
It feels a little slower when you're live.
But he conducted the.
When I was watching this by myself, I know he's a very.
You have to appreciate
terror operation
details
of the post-war period up until Cuba and Nicaragua.
It's worth it.
In an effort to break up Indonesia, strip off the outer islands where most of the resources are, and undermine what was then considered as a threat of Indonesian democracy. Indonesia was too free. It was allowing a political party of the poor to participate, and they were gaining.
Show's only 2 hours.
So that Eisenhower supported and helped instigate a military rebellion in the outer islands. This is just for starters. These are all indictable offenses.
What about Kennedy?
Kennedy was one of the worst. Kennedy first of all invaded South Vietnam. During the Eisenhower administration, they had blocked the political settlement in 1954 and instituted a kind of a Latin American style terror state, which had killed maybe 60 or 70,000 people by the end of the Eisenhower period and had instigated a response, a reaction. Kennedy recognized that it couldn't be controlled internally, so he simply invaded. In 1962, about a third of the bombing missions that were carried out by the U.S. Air Force in U.S. planes with South Vietnamese insignia, but U.S. pilot. He authorized napalm. He began the use of chemical weapons to destroy food crops. They began programs which drove millions of people into what amounted to concentration camps. Now, that's aggression. In the case of Cuba, there was just a massive campaign of international terrorism, which almost led to the destruction of the world, led to the missile crisis. And we can continue. Again, these are all indictable offenses.
Johnson.
Well, Johnson expanded the war in Indochina to the point where ended up probably leaving 3 or 4 million people dead. He invaded the Dominican Republic to block what looked like a potential democratic revolution there, supported the Israeli occupation in its early stages. Again, we can go around the world. Take say Carter. You know,
I'll get there, but Nixon's next.
Nixon, we don't even have to talk about. Skip that one, okay? But
Ford.
Well, Ford was only there for a short time, but long enough to endorse the Indonesian invasion of East Timor, which became about as close to genocide as anything in the modern period. They pretended to oppose it, but secretly supported. In fact, not so secretly. The U.S. Immediately after the invasion, the U.S. did join the rest of the world in formally condemning it. At the
So I'll stop it there. But the point is, he goes all the way up through Obama. This is at the time of the taping. Everybody is guilty of war crimes. And so this idea that we have to singularly call out Putin and then try to use that in a way to demonize Jill Stein and a Green Party effort is silly. So I think my humble thing is she should have just said, yes, he's a war crime, as is everybody, war criminal, as is everybody else. And yes, I am willing, as was other presidents, to sit down with uncomfortable leaders, because that's what you got to do if you're going to be in this position. What?
Yeah, exactly. And just to further it.
And I'm sorry, she should have started like my man Chomsky said.
That's exactly how she should have started. To quote Chomsky. But what she should have also said is, well, look, maybe he is a war criminal, or yes, he's a war criminal if you want to get that out. But the war crimes, the war crimes of the 20th and 21st century have overwhelmingly been committed by the United States of America and Western allies. which we are, the United States of America. So why would I focus on Russia, which is responding to US and Western aggression? I should focus in on the very country that I live in, whose resources that I am giving that is killing millions and millions of people. That is
Except
the focus
in that
of this discussion.
context, Mehdi would have said, but then why were you pictured sitting with Putin at a table in 20, whatever?
Why was Hillary Clinton pictured sitting at a table? It was a dinner.
There it is.
People
Right.
come to dinners. People sit everywhere. That has nothing to do with what the war crimes at the United States. There's no country that has committed more war crimes, that has murdered more people than the United States of America and its allies. And again, if you're going to talk about war criminals and war crimes, you start at home. You start with the things that you can prevent. And so that should be the focus. The fact that you're more focused on a Putin or someone else means that you really are not thinking through the problem at all. You're using U.S. propaganda in order to stop the conversation about U.S. war crimes and war criminal activity and the allies of the United States, i.e. Israel and Western Europe and other allies.
Hiram says you act like he would even be allowed to get half of that off before being cut off. Then you
But
keep
the only
going.
thing- I mean, that might be true, but
Hiram.
but she stuttered a little bit too much.
Yes.
And then she did the Jill Stein thing when she went to my man Butch talk.
She
I
did
don't
that
know if you
lean.
would've had a better
Did you
answer or
see the
not.
lean? She hit him
Yeah,
with the
she
lean
did, she
too.
did.
Like, shut up. I got you. But she kind of, but to be fair, in that one, I felt like she kind of had to. If you're the presidential candidate or nominee or whatever, and you're sitting there with your number two, and the dude gives this hostile question and tries to quickly brush you off like you don't have an answer to go to your number two, I feel like you gotta kind of do that. She kind of had to say, like, hold up, son. I know you're trying to move me off to get a shot at my VP, but let me finish.
But she needs a better practiced answer because she did seem to be stuttering around, which gives the uncomfortable. I mean, she at this stage, she has to expect that question is going to be asked of her. Like, that's how they're going to try to knock you down or whatever. They're going to try to claim you're pro-Russian. I mean, she knows that already, whatever. And he just did a better job of the Breakfast Club people in terms of doing the whole little, like, he's laughing a little bit. It's like, oh, this is not a serious answer. Or you're trying to avoid my question or whatever like that. So she should have just got up in his face or whatever, just about the idea of, by you even bringing this up, the way in which you are, you're basically standing here again, also with white supremacy talking points or as
She should have
opposed
got him
to-
like she got
Yeah.
Angela.
yeah, she got Angela. Angela Lee was like this at the end of it. So
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm curious, like, why her being pictured with Putin is given more press or amplification or criticism or scrutiny, more so than the Democratic nominee for president literally being endorsed by a war criminal. Like, everybody's clear who Dick Cheney is, right? Like, and this is something that Kamala Harris is bragging about. She's running on it. You know what I mean? I got the endorsement of Dick Cheney. Wow. Tell me you're garbage without telling me you're garbage. So why is the focus on Jill Stein, who, to my knowledge, has not been endorsed by Vladimir Putin for president? Who gives a fuck if she had dinner with the nigga? So what? Kamala's out here endorsed by an actual living war criminal. Whether or not most Americans want to recognize it or see him that way, whether or not he's even, I don't know if he's been charged formally at the ICC or any sort of international body. Everybody knows what Dick Cheney did, right? So why is Jill Stein pictured with Putin given more scrutiny and criticism than Kamala being actually endorsed by war criminal Cheney?
Yeah,
that's how the propaganda system works.
But even goofballs like Mehdi Hassan, like, I mean, what nigga, what do you,
Yeah.
what is the question? What are we asking here?
I say we leave it on that question for the chat and everybody out in the universe, since this is the best morning show on the planet.
True.
Thank you all for tuning in once again. We shall be back here for our second week on a Friday. That's right. Remix Morning Show back Friday morning, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. What we got? Anybody got anything coming up other than what we talked about later today?
That's a lot.
No, I got a couple things. I mean, stay tuned. I don't know to what extent I'll be bringing footage back. I hope to, but I'm doing one of my first Tree Line Streets Black August in September presentation. Don't ask me, it's not my fault. George Jackson in Palestine tonight at the Howard County Library.
Oh.
Yeah, that's wild for me. And,
So I gotta get up to the library. I gotta find a ride. It's the main joint right there on Little Patuxent Parkway.
Main joint, the main Howard County. Yeah, this what do they call it? The Central. Thank you. Library 645.
Whoa.
And tomorrow doing the master class at Howard University on tech and economics for the blockchain crew. I'm back with the black blockchain crew.
Can I tell people I know Jared Ball?
Somebody check on me. I feel like it's when I used to go do work in the prisons. It'd be like, if you don't hear from me by 12, send up something. Send somebody.
These brothers got aggressive hugs waiting for you, bro.
Yo, we gonna get some shirts done. I know Jared
Saturdays
Ball
with
personally.
Renee, all that stuff.
Yo, I want
you don't want that shirt. You don't want to live this life off the screen. You don't want this Jared experience for real.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. And make sure y'all go get some of that sea moss. Sound like you need some sea moss ginger, some lemon and cayenne.
I do. I have a little code. I'm about to go jump up on my sea moss right after this.
Good. And where will you get the sea moss from?
CommunityCMOS.com.
There it is.
There it is.
Y'all got to get on TikTok, community movement builders. Y'all could be slinging.
I think we are now. I think we are. I think we
y'all could be slinging the CMOS all on the TikTok shop. Get these regular folks is turning into millionaires off the TikTok shop. Get on that TikTok shop. I think community movement builders content would do really well on TikTok.
Oh, we got to do that. I got one quick thing too. So I won't be around next week. I'm about to take a trip to Northern Ireland.
Whoa.
It is approximately the 52nd anniversary of Bloody Sunday, which was a march demonstration in which the British busted up and murdered marchers and demonstrators. So I'm about to chill a little, maybe a little IRA chill, you know what I'm saying? I'm like all excited. It's the only place in Europe I got excited. I was like, what? I got invited to a delegation. It's like, I will be there.
Nice.
Little Sinn Fin action. I will be there for little Sinn Fin action.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So even with the time difference, you can't pop in and give us a little update or something during the morning show?
Don't do that.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
All right, and I'll be on the east side of Atlanta. About it over here.
Yo, real quick, I want to thank everybody that came out to my Kim's Twitch turn up last night, BIDWKB on Twitch. My theme was Diddy Ruins Everything. I played all the amazing songs that Diddy is part of. And I wanted to credit the artist and the talent who's, the art that he has sullied with his non-talented ad libs and fucking all on the hook, all in the video. I realized Diddy has ruined more music videos than he has actual songs, though he has ruined amazing songs at this point. So appreciate you guys. Follow me on Twitch, BIDWKB, and join me for Friday, Burn It Down with Kim Brown on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern for the show. Thanks to Ricky Ryan for being a special unexpected guest on my Tuesday show. You guys should go check that out as well.
All right, and come right back, 11 o'clock, classical breakdown, and 12 o'clock for I Mix What I Like. And we out of here, y'all. Peace. I got the song ready. There we go.
Don't make me.
That's a bit hard to help to another God and need he Allah God Islam as I proceed to symbolize the uncivilized word and wisdom to the groove from the wild.
Speak on it, y'all.
I guess I'm like the verbalizer for the fact of moving blackwards. This Asiatic black man is a dog spelled backwards. The backwards.